Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we are going to talk about the tank that Wargaming took from us without even asking. If you're familiar with World of Tank Blitz, and especially the German tech tree, the Hetzer is a tank that either gives you the best souvenirs ever, or something that you forgot about straight after unlocking the tier 5. And if it's the case, well, it means that you did not play it in its greatest time, because that thing right there used to be completely broken. Here, guys, is a picture of an Hetzer in the good old garage. This pic is probably at least 3 or 4 years old, and if you take a closer look at the tank, you see that the gun seems a little bit different. And it's totally logical, because back in the good old days, it didn't feature the small gun you saw in my garage, but rather a 105mm one, so the same that is equipped, for example, on a Leopard 1 or something like that. Which means that with this one you had 350 alpha damage, only with HE, because obviously for balance purposes Wargaming did not allow themselves to give you something completely broken. But the cool factor about this gun is that it was made for brawling, literally, because if you were not lucky and not penetrated, you still had a huge amount of HE damage, but if you penetrated with HE, well, it was a guaranteed one-shot, and this made that tank just a blessing for every single seal clubber out there, but also for new players that still had the intelligence to go on YouTube to check what the best tier 4 was. Now, of course, it's not the only change, because the armor also got wrecked. Here, you're taking a look at the regular ETSA, the one we have actually into the game. As you can see, the lower plate is quite easy to penetrate because it only features 45mm, and the top is 127, so it's still kind of hard to penetrate if you're not using such things like gold shells. But back in the good old days, you had the exact same armor here, and it was up to 150mm, which meant that even with gold shell, you could not penetrate the Hetzer frontally. So can you imagine, you had the biggest derp gun at tier 4 combined with the greatest armor. It made this thing completely broken, and this is what we're going to take a look at. For the beauty of it, let's take a look at what Blitz used to be like back in the good old days, like probably 4 or even 5 years ago, and it's truly a blessing to see how far we're coming from. So, well, here we go. It seems like the guy is using a mode, because if I'm not mistaken, even 5 years ago we didn't have access to that aim AGU, but it's not a problem. We're gonna advance a little bit because I'm taking that video from YouTube and I truly don't have a clue where this is going to lead us. Maybe I'm gonna put some sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't feel like the sound will be too loud, unfortunately, but it's not a problem. So there we go with the Hetzer, and as you can see, it's equipped with the mighty 105mm. And to be fair, I wish Wargaming could give us back that tank. I understand that during the 5.5 update, Wargaming had to make a choice in order to keep the player base alive, because obviously having those kind of tanks at low tier could discourage a lot of players from grinding, simply because when you start a new game and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm just going at tier 4, I just started the game and I'm already getting wrecked, what's gonna happen when I reach tier 5, tier 6, tier 7? If the whole game is like that, I don't want to play it. And this is why Wargaming decided to just snap the Hetzer out of existence. And it's understandable. But I feel like right now, thanks to all the changes that happened to the tier 4, they could at least give us back the gun without the armor. Of course, if they give us also the armor, it would be problematic. But here, as long as they stick to just the gun, I feel like it would make tier 4 fun again. Because right now at tier 4, beside maybe the small the Panzer B2 that has a preferential matchmaking that will always come up top tier, the others are kind of boring. There is nothing that exciting. I remember back in the good old days, we had plenties of really fun low-tier tanks, which made the tank relevant again. The game, not the tank, but the game itself relevant once you were kind of bored about tier 10. Now it's not the case anymore, and it's problematic. It's truly problematic. I just hope that Wargaming will do something for that, even if my hopes and expectations are a little bit too high, because I'm truly sure that they will never give us back that mighty beast. But just take a look at that. It's a Jagdpanzer E100 at tier 4. You are literally either two-shotting things when you're playing with AP, or one-shotting when you're sneaking your shells with HE. And all of that while having a lot of fun, because obviously playing at that tier is just a great feeling of superiority, because usually you encounter only bad players. So maybe that a good idea would be from Wargaming to give that tank back in the form of a collectible. Let me explain. If they give the possibility to everyone to get it again, everyone will get it and everyone will spam it. But if they put it either in a special bundle, I don't know, in complementary or to a new tier 10 being released in crates or something like that, plus maybe a special event where you're forced to really play hard in order to get the tank or buy your way up to the hetzer, then we will see less of them and they wouldn't be too problematic on the matchmaking. But I just want Wargaming to give us the possibility of having back those tanks. Like, seriously, Wargaming, I can understand that some tanks were completely useless, but this one, the hetzer, come on, you really need to give it back. It was one of the most popular tanks among the KV2, and Wargaming kept the KV2, even if at first it was planned to remove it. But due to its popularity, Wargaming thought, no, we can't touch it. So why are they not doing the same with the Hetzer? That tank was freaking popular back in the days, and I just want Wargaming to be nice, to give it back for us to have some fun. Can he make it? Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. The 105mm gun was completely broken. When you shot with HE and all of those stuffs, you were literally impossible to penetrate. Now, of course, don't give it back the armor, as I just mentioned, because obviously if you do that, you are gonna be a little bit problematic, because as you can see, our friend here bounced a couple of shells and he's still bouncing to those days. Is he gonna be able to kill the Valentine? I feel like the Valentine is a bot. Is it a real player? I don't think so, but let's see how it goes. Bang, two-shotting one of the most armored tier 4 in the snap of a Fenga, just for us to give out that mastery badge that we are all seeking. Well, this is the answer. This is what used to be the greatest tank in the game. Hopefully Wargaming will give it back one day, maybe, who knows. And if they don't, at least give us back on the tech tree the possibility of equipping the 105mm, even if it means decreasing a little bit the penetration. Just do something, Wargaming, I beg you, because I want to get that tank back, please. Well, of course, when you take a look at the replay I just showed you and the regular hetzer from the game right now, I feel like the only thing that comes in mind is the sound effect, the because you're thinking, wow, that thing is completely shit compared to what it used to be. And if you thought like that, well, you would be right. So tell me in the comments, would you like the old hetzer, the 105mm one, to come back into the game or not? Tell me in the comments, and well, if you agree with me, put a like on that video and subscribe, and hopefully I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.